Hey, LeAnne Carswell here with the Expert Real Estate Team. So I hope you're having a great 2020 so far. If you are thinking about buying a home in 2020, I actually sat down with Pender. He's a lender with Cross Country Mortgage, and he's got some helpful advice on the things you need to do to get ready, all the paperwork you need to pull together, and put yourself in a good financial spot. Take a listen.
Sit down with someone and deal with someone local. There are so many mortgage companies out there, and there are a lot of very good mortgage companies out there. I highly recommend going with someone local, and to me, communication is everything. So our goal is always to make sure that our buyers feel like they're part of the process. We call every single week, informing them what's going on. I think that's important. I think it's one of the things that has been dropped in modern day banking, partly because there are so many people applying for loans. So I think communication needs to be there, and I think it's very important, especially for a first-time home buyer, to sit down with someone, preferably before they even find a house, and know what all the options are, because there are plenty of them out there. You know, if you're ready, if you think you're going to be buying soon, talk to a mortgage professional. If the reason you're checking your credit is to see if you can buy. The other things you can do is go to a free resource like, I hate to say Credit Karma or Equifax.com. You can do that and you can get your scores. I will tell you they're not always going to be accurate, or they might be accurate for the consumer model, but there's a mortgage scoring model that's going to be a little bit different. So a lot of times we'll have someone come in that says, I know my credit, I just got it on Credit Karma, it's a 780, and we pull the scores and it's a 730. So ours is always going to be what dictates, but it's a good idea to know your scores if you're thinking about jumping into the shopping arena. Don't be afraid to have your credit pulled by a mortgage professional. We need to know what we're dealing with. So if you don't think your credit is that strong, by all means, go ahead and start the process, get pre-approved. A lot of times we can give suggestions on what we can do to do an instant rescore. That's something we have the ability to do, but we need to deal with the issue before you get emotional about a house. And we do have a credit counseling group that we work with that's very inexpensive if you decide to go that route. The county actually has a free credit resource to help with credit scores. When we're dealing with lower credit, we're probably looking at a government loan like FHA. If you've got very strong credit, I'm never going to recommend FHA unless there's a compelling reason. So credit obviously comes into play in so many different areas of the loan process. One or two is not going to affect anything. I can't tell you how many people have said, I already had somebody pull my credit. If you pull my credit, are my scores going to drop? Or I heard my scores will automatically drop 6 points. That's not the case. However, multiple pulls will affect your credit. So I don't recommend going all over town. Don't do that. But one or two pulls are not going to hurt anything. I think having ducks in a row is key. Make sure you have a file, or maybe it's on the computer, a secure file, where you have pay stubs, you have bank statements. These are things that you want to get together when you're buying. I think talking again to someone up front and knowing what you qualify for, what the options are that are out there, because this is a world that is changing dramatically. I mean, even though we're typically looking at the same 30-year programs, and FHA and USDA have been around for a long time, we now have things like the Palmetto Advantage program, which is 100% financing. We have a tax credit that a borrower who makes within a certain income can qualify for, where they get a credit back every single year they're in the house. So, you know, I think it's just preparing ahead of time. And I cannot stress enough sitting down with a professional versus just getting a pre-approval letter and not knowing the details of what you're about to enter into without having to sit down and discussing tax consequences and things like that.
So as always, we are happy to help you get started in your home buying journey. Let us continue to help you by reaching out to one of the agents here at the office. If you like what we talked about today, subscribe to the channel. We're always putting out new content, and again, we're here to educate and make sure you make the best financial decision for your family. Thanks so much, and see you on the next video.